Islam. Peace and love, Moors. It's your boy Atazaz Brazil Bay. Just doing a quick promotional. I am holding, once again, private classes. And I'm going to just give you a little overview, man, of what I'm working with. A lot of Moors come into this paradigm. A lot of people come into this needing a certain type of guidance. All right, because it is a lot of minutia. It's a lot of things to maneuver through, especially when you're a newly awakened Moor. Now, I'm gonna tell you this. First and foremost, if you're a newly awakened Moor and you're reading this, go on to rvbaypublications.com. All right, you will not be led wrong on RV Bay Publications. As far as online editorials, lessons, to really understand the Moorish paradigm and what this movement was really about, what Prophet Noble Ali really brought to the lost or the hidden nation of the Moors, they got it. And there's nothing that you could learn from me in the essence that you wouldn't be able to learn on there. But the thing is, what I'm finding out, what people need is deeper context sometimes, because they just can't put it all on there. Sometimes they need a personal, a guide or somebody to show them some of the things or some of the in-between, some of the details to this Moorish paradigm that you might be missing. What I like to think of myself is a pretty much of something like a historian, a philologist, a pedagogy. You know, me and my empress, we teach homeschool at all different levels, high school, middle school, and young children. And people, you know, we sell a homeschool curriculum for 2 to 7 year olds. And sometimes the parents, they want to get their children out of these homeschools, but they might not be hip to the spectrum of the Moorish paradigm. There's plenty of books. There's plenty of things. I suggest y'all look into Tashriq Bay. I suggest y'all look into Canaan Land Moors. I suggest you look into Asir the Duke of Tears. I suggest you look into Cosmo L books. I suggest you look into it's Ras Mariah Bay, like I said, RV Bay Publications, all that. But for people who want to have a little more guidance and get into maybe a certain type of knowledge or more specific knowledge, because I consider myself somebody who likes to take the history and I like to add it and mix it with spirit. You dig what I'm saying? Because this is a spiritual movement. This is a divine movement. Prophet Noble Ali said this is a divine and national movement. So I'm just going to take a little time to show y'all some of the books that, you know, I'll be working with and where I can pull and where I pull a lot of my knowledge and information from. Besides for the countless readings that I have all over my phone from the internet and just different stuff like that, you know, I want to showcase some of this stuff just so you can see what we're going in. Now, not in any particular order, but, you know, sometimes you got to study other people's stuff or people who claim to have certain things to, you know, to see what everybody's talking about, because all these kind of people came from the Moor Science Temple, the Gods and the Earth. All right, this is a good book. Key Points Trilogy. Like I said, Cosmo L. He goes into a lot of, things that this book probably in the next few hundred years, not 100 years, in the next couple of years is going to probably raise in price astronomically, because just some of the information in here is just stuff that they just don't want you to really get, right? This is a good book. Consecratus Tilsim, Salmagundi, by a master teacher, Prince Iriel Bey. And man, he did a masterwork with this. This is a geodetical survey. And it goes into Islam more. It goes into, pretty much how we are the rightful heirs to almost pretty much every land on earth. We are, but he goes into like even modern histories of every land area on earth that shows that the Moors, specifically the Moorish Americans by way of Prophet Noble Ali, are, really the real deal people. All right. Ancient America. All right, this goes in on a lot of things about the Americas. Tells you the Olmecs were the first civilization in the Americas, and we all know the Olmecs are Africoid, as they would put it, type of people or whatever. Okay, so we're gonna go into a plethora of different subjects. If you decide to take my class and join my class, and man, I go into the spiritual gnosis of it. Of course, we're going to learn about this man right here, our illustrious prophet, Noble Drew Ali. This is a hard book to get your hands on nowadays because the information in here, they don't want many people really dealing with this paradigm. All right. I got books that talk, from the Rosicrucian library. You feel me? This is a Rosicrucian book. And man, this right here is heavy because it breaks down, the cycles of life. The cycles of life are in sevens and stuff like that. Just like your chakra system and everything else, the perfection of man is held in the seven. You know what I mean? So this book right here is pretty live because it allows you to pretty much take your life and plan it out based on the cycles of energy that come into your life at specific times. You know what I'm saying? So this is a Rosicrucian book. This is definitely high knowledge, and this is some secret society level type stuff. I go in E.A. Wallace Budge, Egyptian magic. You dig what I'm saying? Go into some of the esoteric, because that's where I like to have it at, wrapped up in the real gnosis behind the scenes. Of course, Holy Bible with the Apocrypha. And if y'all haven't read the Apocrypha, man, get your hands on that because the Apocrypha be going in. I like the book of Maccabees myself personally because that ancestor, man, he was going in, man. He had nations trembling. This is a good old dictionary. You got to have dictionaries in the library. All right. This is a Webster's Random House dictionary. You feel me? Peace, Jaleesa. This is a Webster's Random House that I like to use a lot. And you really should have a few different dictionaries and stuff like that laying around. I go in with the mythology. Key understanding to the Moorish paradigm this is an old book. I like to have my books nice and old because then the information has been kept intact. But this mythology book is the Numerology, and it goes in, man, on some, and it talks about us. You know what I'm saying? It talks about the Phoenician, and how we're linked to the Hittian Empire, the Hittites, and all that kind of stuff. It goes into the Greek mythology. It goes into mythologies all over the world. Shows us that we're the Celtics. I mean, they got some Celtic art in here that you're like, hold on, nah, these is Moors. You know what I'm saying? Celtic mythology. Look up the Druids if you don't know anything about the real Celts. Okay. Look at that. Celtic. Like a Moor to me. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Slavonic. When we talk about the Slavs, where they get their little stuff from. You dig? Oceanic. All right, if y'all never heard about some of these civilizations and stuff like that. Americas, the mythology of the Americas, so Japanese mythology. Look at these Moors, man. This is dark-skinned people. Yeah, the Moor is the devil. Look at these pale skins, and, of course, the Moor is always the devil. When you see that in old time, you see a really dark figure, it's usually talking about us, okay? So pretty interesting, man. That's just a few, Yeah, like I said, you got to have your dictionaries. American Heritage. Get you a good thesaurus. I go in with the health. You feel me? Old books, man. I like to keep it, where we're going into stuff that's been lost, stuff that's been hidden, stuff you're not going to find on the internet. You feel me? It's all there for us. We're going to go in, if you join this class, we're going to go in with the astrology, encyclopedia of astrology. We're going to break down, because this is really what it's all about in a certain type of way. If you want to be in tune with nature, man, you got to know how to work with your astrological significance. You know, my wife is really good at that, and me and her over the years have become pretty adept in a lot of this stuff. Like I said, man, like people like Ross Mariah and stuff, you know, they really up there, but we can get you going. You feel me? A lot of these words, you gotta know what the mothers is talking about. Different types of dictionaries. You know what I'm saying? This is a good Oxford Latin dictionary I use all the time. Something cool in here is like, what I come to find out, one of the etymologies, you know, we always say, let me see if I can find this real quick, just to give you a sample of how valuable this can be sometime. When we talk about Indians and stuff like that, there's a term that kind of derives from. Let me see. Should be in here coming up. Yeah. There's a good little term where we get our Indian from. Oh yeah, indigena. Okay. When we talking about Latin and stuff, so they call us Indians and all that kind of stuff. This is just another breakdown to the etymology. Sprung from the land, native, indigenous. Okay. So when they came here, you know, we were speaking Latin. So, you know, Indians, indigena. All right, let me take you in here and let me show you some more of the stuff that we working with. Bow. You know how we doing that. My children is in here watching the Achilles show. You feel me? But yeah, dictionaries, World Atlas, the New American Bible. This is real good because this gets into like some of the Canaanite histories. Shows you like who people like Melchizedek was and stuff like that. You know, when you're talking about the high orders of Melchizedek, he was a Canaanite priest king. And the Catholic Church released this Bible in like 1970. And it's hard to get your hands on this because they left a lot of indigenous pictures in this bad boy. Matter of fact, let's pull this out. Let's look at it real quick just for the one time. The New American Bible. They go into some of it was the pictures that surprised me about this book. I'm looking like, y'all really let this go, huh? Y'all really let this information, you know, come out. They got your Phoenicians in here. Look at these Moors. They're showing you who the Moors is. Look at these. This is the Canaanites. Canaanites are shown clearly in Egyptian representations. Look at them faces. Now these were the Canaanites when they were so-called in Egypt. Them Moors. And I'm like, dang, the Catholic Church let this be out here like that? You feel me? And they have the pictures that correspond with like every book of the Bible. Very, and I want to find like, let me see if I can find like a better picture. Yeah. Catholic Church telling you exactly who the people is. It's us. I ain't seen one pale skin like Egyptian depiction in this bad boy once, and that always was so intriguing to me. Because, you know, you thinking it's the Catholic Church, but see this come out back in the day. Different sons. Right? So we be going into all kinds of different stuff. This book right here is really good. It chronicles pretty much everything from 1900 to about 1990. And it has some jewels in there that was lost that you only find in old news articles, because it pretty much has all like the news articles of what was going on at different times and dates. Concordance to the Bible. Of course, we're going to get into that. Metaphysical Bible dictionary, because you got to know the meanings behind these things. And this is one of my favorite old dictionaries, a Webster 7, about 1950. But in there, it talks about like even the meaning of crypto. Crypto means a secret sect. Okay. More of the Time Life series. This is a really good series. This is a masterwork series. Early Islam, Ancient China, Byzantium, the Reformation. All right. What's cool about the early Islam is they actually have a depiction of the phoenix in there that we used to call the Simurg. And then it was in a Arabic zoological book, basically verifying that we used to actually have phoenixes, right? Going to histories like the grammar, when we were speaking that Phoenician and Punic and stuff like that. I try to go into all this stuff, man. I got more Rosicrucian books too, from the Rosicrucian library. Rosicrucian Principles for the Home and Business. This is a really, really good book. It's got a lot of how to operate within business, and it gives some magic. It's pretty interesting. Confucius, right? The Wisdom of Confucius. Now, this is really cool because in this book, it shows you that Confucians were actually Jews. All right. And I did a video on that. Look through some of my old videos, and then you can see some of that stuff. This book right here is crazy. Searching Secret Egypt. The guy in here, he talked to an Egyptian mystery school adept, one of the last Egyptian mystery school attenders, as far as when he was in his, still out in the open. And the adept in there told him that the problem with the world and what's really going on is that because all the tombs have been opened of the old pharaohs and stuff, the old pharaohs used to protect their tombs with genies and jinn and demons and stuff like that. And he's basically busting out the reason the world is so messed up is because they released all them demons into the world, the jinns, which have basically infiltrated the leadership's minds. And it was crazy how he's going into it. Some how-to books. There's a way to talk. There's a frequency. There's a method of how you get your messages across. We need to know how to write speeches. We need to know how to present things at a diplomatic level. So I have books like that. Pictorial Bible Dictionary. All right. As well as some, so-called Black America. But you got to know the paradigms where these people think they're coming from. You got to have enough knowledge to pick out the in-betweens. All right. Key. This is one that I teach heavily on when we get into the law. Because this is law. Don't let anybody fool you. This is real law. All right. The Kybalion, the cosmic laws. That's what's really what this thing's about. This right here. Man, if y'all don't have this book right here is crazy. It basically shows how America is everywhere in the Bible. Like all the Bible stories, all those ancient lands, he shows and proves in here that all that stuff was here, right here in the Americas. And you're trying to figure out why they can't figure out nothing over in the Middle East, because all the stuff in the Bible actually happened here. It's South America, Mexico, and all that kind of stuff. This book right here I like a lot. World's Greatest Literature. This is like a 120-year-old book. But it goes into all the different Asiatic states, right? It even says it. I'm going to show you. Let me see. Hold on one second. Oh, okay. Now, the Moors is the Asiatics. It goes into the Asiatic nations. Chaldean, Assyrian, Median, Babylonian. So kingdoms of Asia Minor, which is Africa, so to say. Phoenicia. You already know that. Syria, Judea. Asiatic nations. This book is 1900. It also talks about how the Greeks were really black, and it proves that. This one. It's another 100-year-old book. Get your hands on this if you can. I think they still have them online. But it'll probably be like a new copy or whatever. But this is like from back then. But this is the Message of Aquaria. Man, this bad boy. It goes into so many esoteric, deep situations. You can see some of that stuff. The mystic life. It's talking about what this Aquarian age really means and all this kind of stuff. Right? The law of growth. Jacob and Esau. Mastery and the masters of wisdom. What they say, what our ancestors say, man, know thyself. Okay. The mystic oath, the sheep and the goats, the law of sacrifice. And this book goes in. As a matter of fact, it talks about in this book Lucifer, Mars, but it talks about like how nationality. This talks about how nationality is necessary to ascend. Like literally, it says, only by you knowing your nationality will you be able to link yourself back up to your cosmic force that preceded you. And that only makes sense because we are who our ancestors were, without a doubt and contradiction. So I go into kind of like books like that in my class. Reincarnation, right? If you ever read into Edgar Cayce, look him up. He talks about some stuff. Freemasonry right here. This book crazy because he give you like all the passwords because he was a Freemason that decided like, oh no, it's devil worship or something, right? But he goes into all the passwords, all these little ceremonies and stuff. And he giving up a lot of the goods, you know. Mahabone, Tubal Cain. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then yeah, it goes into all that kind of stuff. What I'm gonna answer your question in a second. Study more. I'm just trying to get through this book crazy right here, man. This is called The Secret Places of the Lion, and it talks about like how we have missing planets from our solar system, right? It talks about we used to have a planet in the solar system known as Lucifer. All right, and it talks about how like all the prophets and stuff, they just keep returning as like the pharaohs and the priests and all this kind of stuff, and it has proof. That's what's crazy to me about it. It goes into so many different sciences. Let's see. It talks about how the Moors were like summoned to do magic and to use their protection spells. Talks about Atlantis, right? Talks about how the dark-skinned people, they were descended from an ancient wise race that existed in Africa when Atlantis was in its prime, but Africa's America. And I got books, I got knowledge on that. All right. Holy books. The Bhagavad-Gita. Definitely need that. This one crazy because this goes into some of the secret oral teachings and like that they don't tell the public. It's an old book. They had it all laminated in like plastic. It cost a decent amount. Back then it was $2 when it was made back in the 50s or 60s. But it goes into a lot of doctrine that you probably never heard of before. The Upanishads. Definitely get that in your library because it's just, it explains a lot and it goes deep into esoteric knowledge. The Sufi and the Saint. This book, man, when you talk about Sufism, that's where the Moor is that's really our thing. Sufism is what we're all doing. When you apply like practical science to spirituality, you're being a Sufi. Sufi means woolly haired one. So they get all that stuff from us, of course. In this day and age, we got to start using these, y'all. Crystals. We got to start getting into how to use these devices. I've made some crystal devices, but this goes into like Atlantean technology. The same kind of crystal power tool they used to use in Atlantis. It has some of that kind of stuff in here. It even shows you how to make them. You dig? So I'll be on that. What else? And then I got just tons of like manuscripts. Okay. This one, it's falling apart, but I don't care because I ain't getting rid of this one. It's called Mysteries from Forgotten Worlds. It's old. But it shows all of the Carthaginian and like Phoenician artifacts that's right here in America. Like Tennessee got tons of Phoenician stuff, Mexico, South America, Brazil, tons of Roman stuff. And like it's just showing like all that Egyptian stuff, all that Carthaginian stuff was over here in the Americas. And that's why we always linking back to those old empires, because we always was messing with each other. The Carthaginians, the Phoenicians, the Romans, they was all here, doing things. So this book goes in. It shows what all the artifacts is and all that kind of stuff. Let me see. Let me pull some of these out. My wife's asleep. Of course, we got to go into this. The one-on-ones, right? Thank you, baby. I don't need my keys right now. The one-on-ones. Right? Boom. This right here crazy, because it shows that the like, how how they told you the South and the North Civil War. This is a book about Alabama, and it's a reprint that my grandma had, like, basically made off a copier because it was so interesting. But it shows that the North was really the South, and the South was really the North. Like the Union states, it was shown on a map that was Alabama, Florida. Those were the Union states. Then they were showing that the Confederate states were all the northern states. And it was very interesting. Let me see. Matter of fact, if I can find it quick. And how Alabama got its name is from the Alabama Indians, so-called. It talks about that. Let me see if I can find this little map real quick. If I can't, just come to class, join my class, and I'll go into all these things, so many things. I'm gonna answer some questions too. So y'all who wrote, just hold on, stay with me, and then when I'm done showcasing some of my library, because really more than half of my library is on the phone, it's digital. Dang. What page that's on? Sorry. Pass. Matter of fact, I put it on my Instagram. Check the Instagram post. I put that map. Going into more health stuff, because I go into health. That's very important. Stuff like the olive leaf and the power of olives. Everybody's running around with their chicken, like a chicken with their head cut off. There's different things just right inside your home during this so-called, pandemic that you could, use. Civics. If you order off of RV Bay, you'll get one of these for free. Going into Sanskrit terms. Big, very important, because Sanskrit is the first language. So it's a lot of the origin is in Sanskrit. All right. And how to use certain terms and all that kind of stuff. This, boom, you need this. This is one of C.M. Bay's books that people don't tell you about. They tell you about the clocks of destiny. But this is the clock of destiny, the circle of life. And man, he go into this. So when I do my astrology section in my class, I go into this sciences. Talks about your aspects and what everything means. Zodiac constitution, of course you need that. The oracle. This is a good work off RV Bay. Talks about your signs, your astrology. Bringing the people back into the constitutional fold of government is another RV Bay book. Great, because it goes into the FBI investigation of the MSTA. All right, with the proofs. Gotta know this. Astrology. Very important. So I go into your astrology. We do astrology chart reading and stuff in my class. My daughter dropped some water on this, but 33 civic questions for Moor's children. I use this as part of my homeschool curriculum. And especially when I get to people, I tell them to go on RV Bay and get this book. Clock of Destiny. This is what you need right here, for real. C.M. Bay went in. He even talks about how this sign y'all see right here, this is the real Muhammad. This is the picture of Muhammad. This is why they never were able to make a likeness of Muhammad, because Muhammad is another way of saying Zodiacus. All right. What else we got? Leave mommy alone. What else I got? Okay. Boom. Numerology. Right. This is from the Art Institute of Edgar Casey. Look into Edgar Casey, man. He was Albion, but he was tapped in for something, with something. The MSTA of degrees. A lot of the hidden knowledge of the Moor's Holy Temple of Science. And what this man brought was tons I mean, man, we go into a lot of different subjects, proficiency tests, the real calendars, a lot of law terms. All right, get your Arabic up because you'll be surprised how many words you speak are really Arabic words. You feel me? So I go into that. Once again, you can't get enough astrology. This kind of centers in on Astarte, though. Venus, and that whole paradigm. True history of understanding of Easter or Esther, which is Astar. Right? One of our languages. I just showed you the Latin dictionary. So I'll be on my practicing my Latin and stuff because, it's important that we learn a different language. We want to stand on, being a Moor, stand our square. One of the best ways I could imagine for you to stand your square is policy enforcers pull you over. You go get hauled into court and you don't even speak English. You speak fluent Latin. They might want to just dismiss you off of that. You dig what I'm saying? Like, we don't even want to deal with this guy. The pineal gland. And this is pretty cool. Manly Hall's, tristis on the pineal gland. It's that tiny little nugget right there. We all got one. He gets into the specific science of it. More Latin tests. This right here. Sacred geometry. Now, this is very important. I'm about to be teaching this in my homeschool curriculum. In my high school homeschool curriculum for my students in this next upcoming trimester. But the power shapes, man, it's something else. What you can really do with these. You feel me? The Sri Yantra. When, like Bobby Hemmett told you, meditate on this. Open eye meditation. This will help you tap into your melanin. This will help you tap into your pineal gland. This will help you tap into the realm, the ancestral realms. And help you get into a nice, good trance. You feel me? And this right here, this book, one place was like $200 and something. And it's a 45-page paperback. Because once again, I don't know what Cosmo is doing, but he finding out information they don't want them to have. But he breaks down the black, Negro color thing, the etymology of the word in a very detailed way. He even shows in his book how we have land to this day. Moors in America have land that is still on file as ours in Israel. And that's one of the biggest reasons why they tried to take over Israel, because there's still a gate over there called the Moorish Gate. Talks about the fake Jews, the real Jews. You dig what I'm saying? So-called. Remember, Jews mean a scholar. The philosopher Jews. He gets into those lines, and he even has a workbook with it that I brought to complement the work. What else I got? Okay. Health, man. Very important to know how to take care of yourself, because you can't always rely on these people. Don't be out here talking about spiritually awakening. You woke. As soon as an ailment befalls you, you don't got nothing to do. You don't know how to do a dang thing to help yourself. So I'm going to give you a tip out of this book. It was saying the best way to brush your teeth is with sea salt. That's all you need. Brush your teeth with salt. Don't they tell you when you lose a tooth to rinse your mouth with salt? Right? All that fluoride and all that extra stuff you usually put in your mouth usually degrades the teeth because they put sugar in it. Brush your teeth with salt. Salt and water. We all need to be learning how to do this. Farm. Take care of yourself. Make gardens. I've been growing a garden, every year. Dang near for like the past 4 years. Just different stuff, and teaching my students how to do it themselves. Self-healing. I had a toothache. Had a bad toothache. And reflexology is pretty cool because it showed me how to stunt the pain on my own. I grabbed the tip of my finger that ran along the same line. Let's say horizontal line within my body of my nervous system that matched with it, that allowed me to stunt the pain until I was able to really get myself taken care of. So I got a couple books on reflexology, Kabbalah, Shambhala. This one right here is heavy. Going into it, really is talking about Moors, and like our significance and how we had that land. the esoteric land, the spiritual land known as Shambhala on lock. And shoot, man, I always know, case of emergency, what you gonna do? Like right now, boom, stuff hit the fan. What you gonna do? Your baby got a big gash on her leg. You know, you want to have some reference material. What else I got? Aromatherapy, right? Ways you can heal yourself by the scent. Everybody forgets about the scent and how the scent, the nose is connected to the root chakra. Very important because root chakra is, you know, synonymous with your grounding, with your foundation, and with your survival. And that's your sense of smell. That's why you smell something like, nah, bro. What else I got? Herbalist. This book was eye-opening because what it made me see is, you know, all those weeds that we have growing up in them fields, and you be driving past them and they be growing in your yard, and you be like, your mom or your wife be like, cut those, you know. Whole time, that's the medicine. That's why they got such a big campaign for like Roundup weed killer and all that. Cause all them little funny things you see in them fields and stuff, that be your medicine. That's our indigenous medicine. Right? You seen some of this stuff, just, what is that? That's the stuff, that's your medicine. That's the medicine that our grandmas and them was using. Picking the weeds. We just we cut them down now. We got high and mighty, then we got the nerve to go take a little white pill from our oppressor, though. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, they outlaw this stuff. You can't hardly get your hand on some of this stuff. But it's right there in the field. And if you don't have a good field book or a guide, you won't know. All right, y'all seen these weeds in y'all garden or outside along the side of the highway. Okay. Let's see. Cosmic crystals. The structure of crystals, because if you want to use some of this stuff, you got to know how it actually works. And this breaks down how the earth works, how the rocks work, how the crystals work. Flower and tree magic. Good info. Practical pendulum. Are you divinating correctly? Are you tapping into higher self when you divinate? Answer questions. You know, that's how we used to. The Anunnaki and all those ancestors, they ain't even deal with like religious worship. All they would do is flip coins or flip what they call cast lots when they wanted to know what's up, because they knew that Allah was unknowable. So chance was pretty much considered as God, because why not? Everything's happening according to spirit anyway. So how can you disturb the plan? The urban farmer. We gotta know how to take care of ourselves. This is a cool book. I haven't got into it too much, but it's called The China Study. And it just talks about like why Chinese people live so long and what do they do that we don't do and stuff, and just goes deeper into their mind and what, you know, how they stay in shape. And this is my wife's book, but this is a good book. Queen Afua. This is Erykah Badu's mentor. Sacred Women, but she be on some spirituality and some healing and like African like understanding. She talks about Moors in here too. A lot of her best friends is Moor, so go figure. And she uses a lot of their knowledge and references them a lot. Practical. Do you know how to do things in your home? Masonry, adding on parts to your house, floors and stairways, how to create and maintain new living spaces, how to build them. All the stuff we need. This is an old book. This is like almost 200-year-old book. Well, not too, like 150, 40-year-old book, 1880. This is where I live at. I always encourage people, learn where you live, because there's a reason you live or were born where you're born at and why you live there now. It's spiritual. It's all spirit. So you might have lived there in past lifetimes, anything like that. And this talks about how the Native Americans, so-called, the Indians, they never sold the land. That's a big farce. All those treaties was done by like pretty much dirty Moors, or like what an Albion would do. He would take like he would just get one of the Indians, right, and be like, hey, sign this treaty, man. We're gonna give you a whole bunch of money and stuff. And then he'd be like, well, I'm a nobody. I'm not the chief. They'd be like, isn't this your land too? Isn't this the land of your forefathers? He'd be like, yeah, you know, all right, cool. He'll sign it. And then that Albion would come to him and be like, hey, man, come to the chief and be like, hey, you all signed this land over. And the chief would be like, no, I didn't. And he'd be like, hey, I got one of y'all signatures on here. He'd be like, well, he's not the chief. But the Albion or the European would be like, well, that's not my problem. If he respected y'all laws and everything, he should have known better. So you got to take it up with him. But we have it in writing that somebody from y'all bloodline gave us this land. You know, they would do stuff like that, you know, pretty crazy. Don't come in here with that, baby. And this is one of the last books I'll show you. This is the wall chart of human anatomy. And man, know thyself was the charge our ancestors left us. So this book is pretty cool. Because it's real big. It's huge. And my daughter's literally following me around crying. Sorry, y'all. But this book is real big, and it goes into how our bodies work. And I'll show you just an example. So it taught me something in the beginning that I didn't even know. You know, just say like the skeletal system. It was talking about how the skeleton makes up 20% of your body weight. You have about 206 bones. I think most of us heard that kind of stuff before. But then it goes into like how the bones are stronger than steel. The shape of them is a honeycomb like shape inside the bones. And it just makes me think of the bees and just, you know, how everything kind of goes together. How everything in this so-called matrix goes together, and how Allah put everything in such a divine order. You know, muscular system, know yourself, know thyself. The nervous system, this is the main thing you got to heal to reach ascension on the level that we talking about. You got to heal the nervous system, because doesn't the nerve send the signals from the brain to everything else? So the main system, the main system you really want to heal is the nervous. That's why we all walking around here like emotional wrecks day near now. And we can't get it together. It's simply our nerves, because we can't focus. You know what I'm saying? And they are the link from the brain to everything else. So it's really about healing the nervous system and activating those ganglions and stuff, or what you might think of as chakras, so that we can activate the Christ body, the Merkabah, and all that kind of stuff. Well, yeah, the brain, cardiovascular, lymphatic system, how you got to work out to release this. That's why you sweat, and your sweat is basically pee, right? And you sweat so that you can clean out all the toxins of your body. That's why you be feeling sluggish. That's why you don't want to get up out of bed. That's why you don't want to just go do the little thing you got to do, because the lymphatic system is too weighed down with toxins in most cases. And then it's got a big giant printout with just like the inter organs and stuff. It's crazy, man. But this is like the kind of stuff that's important to me, because it's about knowing thyself. So I'm going to go in here. I'll bust out some of the books. And I want to, sorry, I got babies pulling stuff down. I'm back in the classroom. And I want to answer a couple questions. Yeah, study more. The library looking thick, man. I've been trying to work on this for a little while. And, you know, just I'm buying books all the time, man, for real. I got so much more on my on my phone. But what'd he say? Let's see. What book? Study more. What book is that, beloved? Oh, I'm sorry. I would have no idea what you're talking about now. What's the book they tried to pay Honorable Minister Farrakhan to not to write? I don't know. Who knows? But I'm sure he took the check. That's for sure. Lucifer nanotechnology. Yeah, I mean, that's all these little nanobots flying around the air in the vaccines and whatnot. Wait, the Russians. I don't know what that means. Feels like too much for me to even talk to people. So much reading. There's a lot of reading to be done. Thank you, Latrice. Spiritually pregnant with purpose. For real. For real. That's how I feel. Thank you. Because I really want to see our people succeed, man. And shoot, if I can pass down some knowledge to y'all, that's what I said, man. Sign up for my class, because I really use all this stuff. And I try to help people to understand the Moorish paradigm in a spiritual way. Some people use just the law or some people use just the history. I try to help you understand law and history from the spiritual Moorish perspective. That's how I come at it first. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's really about. I'm starting to read. Can I explain the 7 chakras? Happy Holy Day, Muslim. Yeah. The 7 chakras. Or hold on, sorry. The secret relationship between blacks and Jews. Is that a book you shouting out, D. Morris? Okay. Can you explain the 7 chakras? Okay. Man, I mean, there's so much context within the 7 chakras, but the 7 chakras are the 7 Elohim. The 7 chakras are the 7 eyes of Allah. Okay. Yeah, I teach history, law, astrology, occult. I just put the flyer up. Look on my page. It's just like a $50 retainer fee and $25 a week, and we do 2 classes a week for 13 weeks. And I'm telling you, I'm not trying to, because it's not that. Only reason I even charge is for my time. Only reason I charge is because all these books that I be buying and that I take the time to look into. I'm not charging necessarily for the information. I'm charging for the time, for my personal time, because, I don't want to just sit here and sit on this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I also want to help people who are new. And it's a spell. It's a frequency too. It's a frequency because it's like we spend money on so many dumb things that we really don't need. It's like bliss yourself, because when you put money, money's currency, right? So it's like energy. When you put money towards the things that actually help you spiritually to grow, that's like, a form of sincerity, because we'll spend it on food, we'll spend it on shoes, we'll spend it on a whole bunch of stuff that whatever. So I don't even like to be on that, but it's your blessing too. It's your blessing because it brings back something to you, because I know when I spend, like the other day, somebody hit me up in my inbox and somebody said, man, it was a lady. She's like, man, I need some money for my baby. I need some diapers. And I get hit with like that kind of stuff in my inbox all the time. Y'all probably do too. And I don't know why. I feel like somebody's always hit me up like that. But me and my wife, a lot of times we'll usually just give them the money if we have some. I only had like $10 in my Cash App. So I send them the 10, right? I send the lady the 10. And she was like, thank you, Now, what's crazy is, the next day, she had another account on Instagram with a different name, and she asked for money again. Happy Holy Day, Cujo, Grand Sheik. And I could tell it was her voice and her whole thing. But the reason I sent the money is because it's like, it's nothing. I'm trying to put towards that frequency of like, I don't know how Allah's coming at me. And if I got, $10 in your Cash App is not anything like that. $10 you really can't. So it's like, why not? That's on her if she's sincere or not. You dig what I'm saying? So a lot of times I'll do that stuff, or, just put your money where your mouth is. Charity is one of our, one of the things that is going to help you just be in line with, other people, because people do need help. Now, was she being sincere? I don't know. My job as a Muslim is to do my best to help, people when I can, especially people that are Moors, whether they know it or not. You dig what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Just gave a sister 50 notes for groceries because why not? It's only going to bliss you. You know what I'm saying? You just putting the currency where into the atmosphere. You just putting the currency out there like, hey, look, this means nothing to me. So if somebody say they need help, that's on you if you lying or not. A guy came to me a few months ago asking for, like, he had his son in the car. He's like, I'm trying to get back to California. He had this like gold and stuff. I don't know. It's probably fake. But I just gave him some money, because if you're going to put your son on Front Street and be like, I need this for my son, even if you lying or not, that's on you. That's between you and Allah. I can't really, that's your higher self you got to deal with. You know what I mean? But it's nothing. So that's why I say I charge, because just the time. And I hope, and I'll work with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because we really want to get this information out. And I'm just bringing my perspective, my books, the things that I have. But like I said, there's plenty of free resources too, RV Bay, whatever. I'm just here to guide a personal, private guiding hand. I have a personal social media network that I use that you'll be able to access with me. And I do personal meetings on Sunday. I go over all your questions, and I really will sit down with people for a few hours to just talk about. And if I don't know, I'm going to direct you to people who know. Like, y'all see Canaan Land Moors. Anybody who's not a follower of them, go ahead and go ahead and follow Canaan Land Moors, because I mean, the information, the knowledge, and the truth, it don't really get much truer than what Cujo and them Moors are doing up in Canaan Land. So high honors to them. But let me see here. Man's worthy of his skills. Yeah, back it off, jack it off your back. It's nothing. Allah provides, not man. Allah provides. So you already know what's up with that. Can't lose. But somebody's asking about the 7 chakras. So real quick, 7 chakras are the 7 eyes of Allah, the 7 Elohim. Okay. Now, if you read a good book called The Secret Book of John, the Apocryphon of John, that's one of my digital books. It goes into, let's just say, the construction of the human body. My interpretation of it is basically these 7 lesser so-called spirits, they resonate through your chakras. That's what they represent. Also the 7 planets, right? So through these, through the balancing of the vibrations and the frequencies of those chakras, of each one of them, your root, your sacral, your solar, your heart, your throat, your ajna, or your so-called third eye, your pineal, and then your crown, through the balancing of them, you will be able to receive correspondence properly. You will be able to become enlightened. You will be able to access what they call the Merkabah. All right, the joining of below and as above. So below your heart chakra are your below. Your stomach, you know, your primal nature, your carnal nature, your stomach, your sacral, which is your private areas, and your root. All right. Those are your survival, your instinctual. What we're trying to do is, with the chakra system, vibrate high enough, access and eat the right foods, because your sacrals, your chakras have a color system code too, right? So you want to eat the right foods and foods that resonate with them so you can vibrate. You can send that vital energy up. Now, some call it like the Kundalini and all that. I would caution anybody, before you want to go just Kundaliniing, you got to get your mind right. Okay, you got to get your habits right. Don't go off trying to be a Kundalini master, because some people open those channels and they go crazy. You see the homeless guy on the street who's telling you about some truthful stuff. You ever talk to like a homeless person or somebody that might be destitute, and they really talking about some real stuff and that kind of thing? But you like, so how you out here with this, like, thinking like that, but you out here? It's because some people, if they haven't transitioned their body to be able to receive those high frequencies of truth and knowledge and energy, you're going to curse yourself in the same sense too. All right. I used to be an electrical lineman, so I worked on power lines, transformers, and stuff like that. Depending on the power, right, the amount of voltage that will come on the line, we needed bigger lines, right? So if they come in with 50,000 volts, I'm going to need a certain type of size of wire to be able to allow 50,000 volts to travel. Because if I use too skinny of a wire, it's going to burn it up. I'm giving that as an analogy that preparing the mind, practicing righteous lifestyle, eating properly for your body is going to allow your body to adjust to the influx of energy that you're putting into it. But if you activate Kundalini energies without doing the rising of the vibration of the body, of the Merkabah, you're going to, let's say, burst one of those lines. You're not going to allow the energy to be flowing correctly throughout your nervous system, and you can basically burn your system down. Okay, this is why we more say give up the pork and the meat and all this kind of stuff like that, right? All right, so that your body can match the frequency that you're putting in. You don't want to be taking high level information in with a low level body. All right, now mental is the first principle and it governs everything, but that's that's something that you have to know, that you're on that level to understand hermetic principles and all this kind of stuff. Okay, honors to you, Cujo, for real. That's big bro right there, man. That's a good brother right there, y'all. If y'all haven't checked him out, don't believe the hype. You know, people be mad at the Canaan Land Moors because they be on people's butt. But if it weren't for guys and Muslims like Canaan Land Moors and them, this thing, I feel personally that a lot of this stuff will go out of whack because nobody's really coming out here swinging the scimitar like Canaan Land Moors, and that's why I have so much respect for them. They that have the demons in them. Yeah, demons. That's a good subject. Demons, man. Demons are like this. Demons are demons are just your, like, let's say your negative thoughts, your lower self thoughts, the lower self things. Demons are your excrement. Like, real talk. Demons are your poop and that kind of stuff. Your body's the cosmos, right? Your body's is a small universe. It's a microcosm of the macrocosm. So when you're dealing with, like, the areas of your body, your legs are the abyss. All right. The abyss, the something like the void, right? When you come up higher, you get to your rectum, your anus, Uranus. You're dealing now with where poop and all this kind of stuff comes out, why your body wants to release it. And they be telling you stuff like in movies, like, remember Scary Movie, and he was in the bathroom, he's like, release the demons, and he's like pooping. You know, that's real talk, because that's what it is. You know, when they're talking in the Bible about the smell of sulfur and brimstone and all this kind of stuff, they're literally talking about your poop and stuff like that. All right. So be mindful of what you eat. Be mindful of what you put in your gut. All right. Your solar plexus is Bethlehem, the house of bread. Right. So, you know, when we're talking about demons and all that, there's nothing outside of yourself that is demonic. That's why a lot of us who are coming from the Christian mindset, we've been duped to believe that the devils and demons outside of ourselves. But when you read the the Secret Brotherhood of the East, what they call the Red Book in the Moor Science Temple of America, they talk about how the priests cast all their lamps at what they thought was the devil and all these demons and whatever. But all that stuff's coming from within your mind. So when we talk about demons, we're talking about a Muslim or a person deciding to do the wrong things and allow the wrong energies to guide their will. You dig what I'm saying? Those are demons. Demons are just the thoughts that aren't becoming of your higher self, so to say. And we can get a lot deeper. Look into skandhas. Look into skandha energy. Also look into the Tibetan Book of the Dead, which is also called the Bardo Thodol. All right. And they get into a lot of that kind of knowledge and stuff. Yep. Everybody loves money. Tools of the workshop of the mind. The prophets, that's what a true Mason is. That's what we are. We Masons. We reconstructing our mind. The term that has been enslaving us, right? What we really went through something worse than slavery. That's why I tell my Moors and so-called blacks and everybody, don't say you were a slave. We faced slavery as a descriptive, as the adjective or whatever, but what we went through, or as the verb, but what we went through was ma'afa. Ma'afa is the term that happened to us as Moors. Okay, ma'afa is spelled M-A-A-F-A. Okay, ma'afa is a Swahili word that basically translates to what we would call today mental slavery. And what Ma'afa was, how it's different than slavery is, we're the only ones that went through the type of slavery where they denationalize you, where they take away who you are and leave you as like an empty vessel. The reason why other, like say here, even in so-called United States, when they enslaved the so-called Asians, was it the Chinese who came over here and all that, and they had to pay reparations some years ago? They didn't never tell them they couldn't be Chinese. They didn't take off their little their slippers and their kimonos and their specific headdress. They never took that from them. They just lumped them all together and put them in work camps. But they stayed Chinese. They stayed able to have their little shaven bald head and have their shy, or I forget the word for that. There's a certain word for that hairstyle. They get that from obviously ancient Kemet, because you see the Kemetans, they shave bald and have the little tail. So where you think the so-called Chinese got it from? All right, but they didn't take that from them. But when you talk about us more, they took all that stuff from us. All right, they took everything and they made a new creature called a black. You feel me? So it's just a lot. It's a lot that I can go into. There's a lot of things that I'll go into in the class. And if you like, just the way, because everybody has a certain frequency in the thing they like, you know what I mean? And I know that I'm not the teacher for everybody, so to say, but, for the people who do resonate with me or whatever, man, and you're trying to figure this Moorish paradigm out, I got testimonials. I got things from people who took my class, and we have a great time, and we really get deep. And the class be 2 hours long, 2 times a week. And really, I really need like 4 hours per class, because once we get going and the things that I'm going to show you and we go into, like, I'm just scratching the surface. For those of you who are confused on the Moorish paradigm and a lot of our origins, and I'm finding out more stuff every day. Alhamdulillah, you know what I'm saying? Allah has just been guiding me to be able to access realms of knowledge and information that a lot of it's been hidden, you know what I mean? And I got to thank a lot of my master teachers, Shout out to all my master teachers, Taj Tariq, Cujo, El, Asir the Duke of Tears, Bobby Hemmett, Layla Africa, Dr. Blair, Dr. Valentine. He's going Ras Mariah, Anaid, El. And I can't even name them all. There's so many great teachers who have helped me, and I'm just trying to take this and just present it to you in a nice package deal where you'll be able to eat it properly. Because according to my wife, I have a way of being able to explain high knowledges in a simplified way, and that's very important, because I'm not going to sit here and big word you to death either. You know what I'm saying? Are the classes recorded? Yeah. When I do the classes, I record every class. That way, if you are a part of the class, if you miss one, I can send you the recording. All right. Because say you got something pop up and you just can't make it to class, then I'm not going to shortchange you. I'm going to make sure that you get your fiat's worth, and that you stay current in what we go over. And like I said, I have a private social media network that once you join my class, I'll give you access to. So then we are being our own little bubble, and you can text message me off of it, or, it's basically like a private Facebook. I'm going to post stuff on there that I don't post, like even on Instagram, certain knowledges and pictures that, I don't readily share with everybody, because, sometimes when you share like really deep stuff or just certain things, people got a million questions, or they might not get it. And I don't want to get anybody thrown all the way off. So I just hold back a lot of stuff I could post. But if you in my specific class, you're going to be on my social media network, and I will send you information. Then I'll be able to explain things to you. And I also do business hours on Sunday. So like, say we went over something in class, take your notes Tuesday and Thursday. And then Sunday, if you need to, I'll set up a specific personal consultation time with you, and we can go over the notes. We can go over what you didn't understand. We can go over, different things, as well as, question and answer period at the end of class. But a lot of times I'm throwing so much information in the class, by the time I'm done running through all the slides and stuff, because it's on Zoom and it's through like a PowerPoint type of presentation, like something like a seer does. But by the time I'm done with it, it's usually after 2 hours, because it's just so much to go over, and I'm barely scraping the surface of a lot of the Moorish paradigm. That's why I'm bringing just a foundational information that's strong, that's dealing with like the things that leave gaps in your mind. I'm trying to fill in those gaps. All right. How significant is the Moor? How old is the Moor? Like, what does that mean? Why are we the serpent people? I go into like those kind of things, and a lot of the spiritual esoteric perspective of Moorish nationality and that kind of thing. This is a way for more. Yeah. So join me, man. Any questions about Moors or about, whatever before I get out of here, man? Please shoot, man. Throw me something. Because it's so many things that I could go over, but I wouldn't even know where to start with half of the stuff, because I don't know where your level is. So if you got a question, man, go ahead and ask. We got books. We got whatever. We got 8 viewers. So if y'all got something you thinking about, go ahead and shoot, man, before I get out of here or whatever. My personal little classroom, man. That's where we're going to be. I got the whiteboard to help break things down. You know what I'm saying? This is where I teach my children too. Well, we have an intern. She comes and she's a part of our tribe, and she comes and teaches them. And we just pay her a little bit, and she just gets like a little paid internship with us, and it's cool, man. But we really do this, y'all. You can catch me in a class, brother. Yeah, for real. If y'all want to join the class, look up the flyers on my page. I'm gonna just drop this here. My Cash App is More Unity Now. Okay. So like I said, if y'all want to join the class, it's $50 retainer fee, and it's $25 a week for 13 weeks. But when you pay the $50, the first week of class is free. So it's just, that and we send you a binder too. Matter of fact, let me show you. Sorry, turban falling off. We send you a binder. It'd be like something like one of these, a realigned binder, and I'll send you. It's not gonna have this logo. This is for our babies for their homeschool curriculum, but it's gonna have like realign on it and all this kind of stuff. This is our homeschool, but it'll be like one of these kind of binders, and it'll have the notes, pages to take notes in. It'll have some reference material. You feel me? Whole bunch of different things like that. Yeah, man. So get with me, y'all. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, man. I appreciate y'all. Inbox me if you're trying to get into class or if you have any questions. Spots are filling up quick. They'll start November 9th. So the sooner the better you do it, so I can send you your binder in time. All right. But peace and love to all y'all. Have a wonderful day. Happy holy day to all the Moors. I honors the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Peace.